K Suvarchala, working as an associate professor in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Last session, I discussed about the importance of the database management system and how we are using this database management system in our day-to-day life everywhere nowadays actually. And also, before database management system invention, the data was stored as file management system or in terms of the files, and the respective files are having certain disadvantages file management system while doing this programming, and because of this disadvantages, these database management system came into the picture. In the last session, we discussed the differences between the file management system and database management system, or in other words, advantages of database management system over file management system. Now we will go the basic concepts of database management system further. Initially, we will consider what are the various types of the databases we have. Of course, we have many types of databases, but basically the databases are categorized into centralized databases, distributed databases. So as per the definition of database, entire database is stored at one location because entire data was stored in one location as a repository, because we defined it as an interrelated, integrated by using all these terms, and the data will be stored, integrated data will be stored at a single location. From there, the data is going to be used by various users for various applications, their applications actually. Now, these kind of databases are known as centralized databases. First case, you observe centralized database system. Centralized database will be there, which will be resided in a database server, and all other clients means different or various users will use for their applications this data by interacting this centralized server. It has its own advantages and disadvantages. The main disadvantage, if the particular server gets failed, then entire application development or entire system is going to be get disturbed. That's why another kind of, not only that, and the data cannot be stored at one location in certain situations, and it is going to be distributed at various locations. Now, the second kind of database management systems are distributed database system, in which the data will be located at various locations, and these locations of these servers are connected with some communication channel. This communication may be local area network or wide area network or metropolitan area network. It depends upon the data locations actually. And by sitting at one place, we can access data from our place as well as from other places also through these communication channels. That is, data was distributed at various locations but integrated for applications which needs the data at various locations. I'll give an example. Nowadays, banking system. We are having an account at Hyderabad, let us assume that, in one bank. Even we are at other locations, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, anywhere, we can access our data. Why? Because the data was located at our place only, but through this communication, networking, internetworking, communications, we are able to access data wherever it stores. This is one of the best example of this distributed databases. Centralized database, we can consider it our organizations, education institution. The data was stored at one location, and all users, students, faculty, administrative staff, everybody is using this data. This is an example for centralized database. This database provides users and programmers the simplified environment. As I explained in the last session also, The data, how internally it stores, is not relevant to us as an application programmer or any user, except the database administrator. So that's why it provides the users and programmers a simplified environment how the data can be accessed directly. They need not worry about the internal structures, etc., for their applications. So in this diagram, users and programmers are outside the database system. This database system consists of application programs, queries will be there, and yellow color, which we are seeing that database software, that is DBMS, database management system, and which is as we defined it, DBMS is a set of programs or a software. So this software is used to process queries and programs, as well as this software is also used to access data stored in our database. So this software provides an intermediate as between users and basic data stored in our secondary storage devices as a persistent data. Thus, this DBMS software will accept the requests from the users or programmers. As per their request, it will interact with the respective storage of the data, and it will provide the required data to the users as a response to their queries actually. While storing the data will be stored as a database, as well as about this data, metadata will be stored. We will call it as a catalog or a data dictionary or a metadata. Because what data stored, where it was stored, everything will be stored in this particular data dictionary. So when any request comes, this database management system software first searches for the required data from this category, that is data dictionary, and according to that it will access the address from the stored database actually. So that's why it maintains metadata as well as data, and it accepts the user's request. As per the request, it will access the data from your database, access or modify whatever may be the requirement of the user, and it will respond to the user with the requirement actually. So as a user, we need not worry about how it is stored actually, how it is accessed, how it is managed, because software will take care of most of the things actually. So that's why it will become easy for us. So you take your college environment where you don't have any idea how the data was stored internally, how the courses are maintained, and how the faculty information is maintained, how your data is maintained. But irrespective of all these things, you can easily access your data as per your security credentials, and you will use the database according to the accessibility given to you actually. Right? You need not worry about that. So this database management system makes users and programmers to use the data in a simplified manner actually. How the data will be stored internally. In the previous slide, we discussed data will be stored and data dictionary will be stored. Right? To store the data, a basis is required. For example, you would like to construct a house. Then you have to lay a foundation, alright? And based upon your planning of your house, a foundation is going to be drawn, and as per that, your house is going to be constructed. That similar to that, to design our database, a basis is required. Strong and correct base is required for us. On that particular base, data will be constructed as a databases. What is this data? For that particular database, we need some techniques or tools. So data model is a collection of tools which describes the data, data types, data relationships, that is relationships among the data, logical representation of the data, that is data semantics, and how the constraints are implemented on data, as well as operational behavior. All these are going to be described through these data models. which is a base for our database construction actually. That means this data model hides all details, most of the details of data storage from various groups of users actually. That is, a data model is underlying structure of a database. We should use the word underlying structure. Internally, base, it is a base for development of our database actually. Various kinds of data models will be there. As per our need, we need to understand various data models and select a proper data model for representing our data actually. These data models were developed from the beginning of the invention of the databases actually. Various kinds of data models are there. In 1960s, hierarchical model and network models are more developed. And in 70s, relational data model came into the picture. Once the relational model was introduced by Professor Cott, the choice of the most of the applications becomes relational. We'll discuss why it became so much popular further. In 90s, object models are there. As we expressed in the last sessions, knowledge bases are there. Rules representations are introduced. In this 2000 and plus, how the data, semi-structured data was stored, XML, semantic web, all these came into the picture. But even though so many developments are happened in our database, even today, these relational models are basis for the most of the new models also. Why these developments are happened, how these developments are happened actually. These data models are basically categorized as objects-based logical models, record-based logical models, physical models. Whenever we are designing a database, the database design must be logically designed first, then it must be stored in our secondary storage, that is physical design. I'll give a scenario. When we are writing a program, before writing a program, first you will write an algorithm or you will draw in a flow chart, then you will write the program, which makes the program more efficient actually. Because logic will be developed first initially on paper. Program implementation will be on system. Similarly, whenever a database is going to be designed, this database first designed as a logical model must be designed, then it will be implemented on system through these physical models. So basically the categorization is logical models, data models and physical data models. Both are required for implementation of the database actually. As these logical models consider, there are two categories of logical models: object-based logical models, record-based logical models. The basic difference between these two is what is the base for this particular category of the logical model. What is the base means? You are going to building block you can consider. In case of object-based logical model, objects are going to be considered as a building block. The two example for this object-based logical model is entity relationship model. The building block of this entity relationship model are basic two building blocks, entities and relationships. And second category, record-based logical model. In this category, all models are based upon the record structure. That is, building block is record. What is record? Record is a collection of fields. Right? Every model is based upon the record. Already we have an idea about the files because databases, after file management system only, we move to the database management system. That means here, in files, whatever the record structures we used, the similar record structures is constituted as a basis for our record-based logical models. There are three kinds of record-based logical models are there: hierarchical data model, network data model, relational model. As we discussed in the previous slide, hierarchical and network models are started in 60s, 70s. When the 70s, early 70s, this relational model came into the picture. The two types of this hierarchical network model, data model, were not used much in our applications actually. And third category is physical model. This model is described, is used, these models are used or a described database at the lowest level of the abstraction. That is, as lowest level means at the lowest level means while implementing in your secondary storage device. These type of models are going to be considered actually. Right? Now we'll discuss one by one. The first one, ER model, entity relationship model, we will discuss more detailed way after completion of the basics of database management system, because this object-based logical model, specifically ER model, is widely used to model our database before construction. Just like we are drawing flowchart for a program before writing a program, similar to that, before designing a database, this ER model is used to design our database logically so that the implementation problems can be overcome. Now, the second category of record-based models we'll discuss now, and why this relational model become more popular also we'll discuss now. So, ER model we'll discuss in the next coming sessions in detail. According to the history, initially hierarchical database model were introduced. Hierarchical. The term itself indicates that it is a tree-like structure, hierarchy. Right? This hierarchical data model is a data model in which the data are organized into tree-like structure, just like a tree. Tree-like structure means all are having basic databases, no? So basic structure is record only, because all these three are record based only. Each record is having some other records are as children, like that it will be having. One-to-many relationships are considered. The links are one-to-many actually. In this hierarchical model, the data are stored as a records because its basic structure is record based, and which are connected with one another using links. These links specifies as a tree-like structure actually. So, what is a record? Record is a collection of fields with each field contain only a single value, atomic values actually. The type of a record defines which fields in the record contains which type of data actually. And this hierarchical data model first introduced by IBM. It was developed by IBM and commercially, in the sense that in a practical manner. These hierarchical theoretical papers were introduced a lot before that itself, but in 1960s, IBM considered a project, hierarchical structure was developed by IBM in 1960s and used in early mainframes as a database management system. So hierarchical database management system was introduced by IBM initially and also used in mainframes. In those era is related that most of the systems are mainframes only. The data was manipulated, managed, stored by using this mainframe system. This database management system, which was introduced by IBM, is known as IMS. IMS is a hierarchical database management system. IMS stands for IBM Management System. Now, after that, RDM Mobile is also another hierarchical database system was introduced. This RDM Mobile is a recently designed, newly designed embedded database for mobile computer system. But this IMS was introduced by IBM long back, initial stages, 1960s. And they have done a lot of research and they used to for a certain period of time. But when the relational models came into the picture, these hierarchical model are fade out actually. Now, whenever for example, I'll give how the hierarchical data structures can be stored, hierarchical data management system. Take this table, employee table. First table is employee table, having employee number, first name, last name, department number. For each employee, let us assume that each employee may be using various kinds of equipment, computer, monitors, printers, etc. You observe the second table. This is a equipment table. You observe serial number, type, username. All our user employee number is 100, 100, 100 only. That means all these items are used by employee 100. That means the first table of the first record is connected with this second table. Similarly, first table of second record may be connecting with some other table where the 101 employee may be using certain number of equipment. Right? So, these kind of storage representation is known as hierarchical data organization. So, after 60s, hierarchical data models were not that much popularized. After 70s, hierarchical data organization schemes again came into the picture with the XML invention actually. That is in late 90s, again hierarchical database organizations or hierarchical data organization schemes are becoming popular because of XML actually. This hierarchical structure is used primarily even today by storing geographical information system and some other file systems. And also embedded system. Just now I explained to you that the embedded system is considered as a RDM. RDM stands for REMA Database Manager, which is an example of hierarchical database management system based upon embedded database software actually. So even this relational data hierarchical database management system were not used for our applications after 70s, but because of XML invention, again this database management system came into the picture to access data in a hierarchical manner actually. So an example was given to you, record based data model, hierarchical data model was shown to you, which consists of various root is there. From the root, employees are connected. From each employee, green color records are connected. It looks like just like a tree structure, which we know the structure in data structures also. The second category of record-based model is network model. After this hierarchical model, having a little bit problems are there, and to overcome these problems means it is a hierarchy, it is storing. Because of hierarchical storage, what happens? Most of the data is getting repeated. As you know, the previously how the data was repeated, you observe here. User and employee information 100, 100, 100 was repeated. For 101, for example, even 101 is also using the first two products, computer and monitor of 300973 and 323283. The first two equipment is there. If they are using, again for them, another table is created with the same data, which cannot be connected again to these tables. Why? Because if it is connected, a cycle forms, then it will become a many-to-many relationship. So that's why, to avoid this lot of repetition happening in hierarchical model, network models were introduced. In this network model, the data is represented as a records and the relationships are many to many. That means this model is viewed as just like a graph. Objects are going to be nodes and these objects are connected with the relationships types known as arcs. The network model was initially adopted by CODASL. CODASL stands for Conference Committee on Database Systems, System Languages. This CODASL group, Database Task Group, introduced this network model in 1969 and underwent a major update in 1971. Sometimes is also known as CODASL model. The basic difference between your hierarchical model and network model is that is one-to-many relationships are carried out in case of network model, many to many relationships are allowed so that the cycles may be formed actually. You observe this network model becomes, number of network database systems become popular on mainframes, mini computers through this 1970s, right? But when the relational databases came into the picture in 80s, then even these network models are also not considered for implementing the applications. You observe here, customer data is there, order line is there, product is there, shipment. Customer is connected with order is connected with the order line, product is also connected with order line, and again shipment is connected with order line. It's not hierarchical. It's a net. Many to many relationships are there. You observe order line is connected with 3 or 4 items directly. If you are taking in terms of the record based, you observe the first, each record represents one employee data, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. As I explained to you, for example, 101 has a transaction 1011. The same was product used 1011. The same transaction was involved by 102 also. It was connected. 2 arrows are there, you observe. That means here many to many relationships are there. Multiple employees are connected with single, and single employee is connected with multiple transactions also. Because of this, what happens? Many to many relationships are allowed so that the network model reduces a little bit repetition or redundancy of the data, but even then, the disadvantage is there here. The basic disadvantage is here, multiple links are there. Multiple links means multiple pointers are there. Because of these multiple pointers, managing the multiple pointers become very difficult task, and it leads to the data loss also sometimes if any one of the link got corrupted actually. Right? Then in 1980s early here, the relational models came into the picture in a commercial manner. The relational data model was first described in 1969 through a research paper by computer scientist E.F. Card. All data is represented in terms of the tuples and relations. Tuples are tuples. These tuples are going to be represented as just like rows in our table. And the database management system approach, this type of relational model database management system approach, is managing the data by using a structured query language. And these languages are based upon the first order predicate logic. That is mathematical based. You remember these things. So this EF card introduced relational data model, and the database is organized in terms of the relational model is known as relational database. And the purpose of the relational model is to provide a declarative method for specifying data and queries. So we are going to declarative method for specifying data and queries means by using a simple notations, we can represent the data actually. Declarative method means users directly specify what information is required in our database, which is stored in our database, and what information is there, what information is required, and how to get it. All these things can be introduced through their languages, database management languages. That is the software. DBMS will take care of this relational database management system, will take care of describing the data structures for storing the data, and also various procedures for efficient retrieval of the information. That is, answering the queries is very effectively can be done by this database management system actually. You observe here, the data will be stored in the form of tables. The first one, customer details stored, customer ID, name and middle name, first name, last name, account number, account type, etc. And the first column is attribute names, we will call them as a column names or attribute names. And the remainings are known as tuples. 101 Smith, A, Mike, etc. This is one tuple. 102 row is another tuple. 103 is another tuple. I'll define this terminology in relational data model basics in next session. The customer records details are stored in the form of a table. So what is a relation means? It is a two-dimensional table which consists of a relationship between the attributes and the data also. So how the data will be stored here? You observe this table will have a name. That particular name is going to be considered to be as having this table relation table name. This is name, and these are attribute names. As we described the previous table, customer ID, customer name, etc. We will call them as a columns or attribute names, etc. Depending upon the language which we are using for implementing. In our general notation, we will call this as a heading. Generally, column headings, etc. we will call. And these are all the data tuples, content. That is the body of the table. We will call each row we will be called as a tuple. Now, the respective tables are going to be considered here. Whenever we are using this notation, this entire thing is going to be considered a relation. So a relation, what is a relation? A relation is a two-dimensional array, just like a table which we are using. Why we are calling it as a record-based? Each row is considered to be as a record and each column is a field, right? So that's why set of attributes, set of tuples are there and the data were arranged in the form of a table, then it is called as a relation model. So we will call it as a table or a relation. We will call it as a tuple or a record, or we will call it as a column or attribute, and we will enter this relation or a table can be named by using any specified name. These relational data models are record-based data models. Why we are calling record-based again? You just observe each row will be treated as a record because each row is collection of attributes only, no? That is collection of records. So, how many records are there in my table? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are there. I may consider this as a 4 tuples are there, 4 records are there, or you may consider it as a 4 rows also. If it is file management system, we will use the term as a record. If it is database management system, theoretical database management system, we will call it as a tuple. In a commercial implementation of database management system like SQL, we will call it as a row. So row, record, tuples. Similarly, the columns. Columns are known as attributes, columns are fields. Various notations are used at various situations. All of them are analogous actually. So how many number of attributes are there? 1, 2, 3 attributes are there in the example. And how many rows are there? 4 are there. So number of attributes is known as arity of the relation. As in the set theory, we will consider similar to that. And it is also known as otherwise degree of the relation. Of course, these terms will define more detailed way when we will discuss about the relational model in a detailed manner. So these are the 3 models are the record-based models. And as we have been discussing, we consider this relational database management system become more popular comparing with your hierarchical and network model. Even though those are older database management systems, the model, relational data model become more popular both commercially as well as research-wise also. Why this is becoming more popular? You observe the first diagram. Data was stored at one location. Redundancy will be controlled like anything. Right? So remember, always we are using controlling redundancy. We are not considering redundancy is eliminated. It may not happen at all actually. If it is eliminated, their connections are very difficult for us actually. Retrieving the, considering the connections from more tables, it is very difficult. You observe this diagram. Multiple users are retrieving the data as per their requirement. That is, let us assume that we are all users of banking system. I may be retrieving my details for withdrawing them. You may be checking for balance checking, or some other person may be viewing what are the various facilities are available in our banking system. Not only banking, you can take any railway reservation system, right? Most of the people are viewing your railway reservation system at the same time, but all of them are viewing the data according to their requirement only. That is multiple views of the data. Same data is there. Data is shared among all these people, right? So reservation, we will have reservation details, train reservation, trains details, everything in the database is stored at one location only. That's why when we are booking a ticket, same ticket is not going to be, same seat is not going to be allocated to more than once. We'll discuss all those things, how it happens, how this database management is, RDBMS will take care of that. And this becoming more popular, both commercial as well as research-based developments are there. What are the reasons? First, we'll discuss commercial popularity. Commercial popularity, all of us are having an idea of Oracle, SQL, Sybase, etc. More relational database models are there, and we have been using even nowadays also. This is becoming more popular. Why? Because this usage of this relational database is very easy, because it is stored just like a table. No, if it is just like a table means which is similar to our file systems which we have been using from a quite a long period of time. So that's why understanding of such type of representation is easy for us, a table format actually. Easy to use, easy to understand, and implementation wise also record structure, based upon the record structure. So implementation also not that much complex. So that's why commercially these become more popular. That's why continuous developments or evolutions are there in relational database management systems. How this research area is also this become more popular. Basically, the database was defined based on set theory, mathematical related. All of you please remember that any concept was having a strong basis of mathematics, then there may not be any failure at all. That's why you think there is no any failure of the database actually. And also becoming more and more popular, and more research is going on. Still it is going on in various dimensions of the database management systems, because it is basically based on mathematical structures actually. That's why this relational model become more and more popular, and both commercial and research based. That's why, because of this relational model introducing in our applications, the hierarchical model and network model implementation becoming more difficult actually. Relational model is very good for large amounts of the data and simple operations, because it is having limited navigation, touching only small number of relations, because accessing data takes very less number of as far as possible. In other case, where less number of accessing will be there your secondary storage device. But for all applications, this relational data model may not be good. It is difficult for developing an applications, VLSI, graphical data related, and case tools related data databases. If you want to develop applications, this relational model is not that much suitable actually. So that's why you have to consider which of these models are more efficient and which can be used for what type of application must be selected by us. Our area now is based on relational database management system. We are going to discuss more detail further about this relational database management system. The database is going to be the next concept is how this data is going to be stored. We discussed in the initial stages of database implementations, physical models are there, logical models are there, and the data cannot be viewed directly by us. That means how the data was stored was not known to the user group actually. So how the data will be stored? This will be considered by the architecture supported for database management system was standardized architecture was standardized by ANSI in 1978. Based upon that, even now today we are using the developments of the databases or implementation of the database. That is levels of abstraction. Abstraction means hiding. At various levels, the data is going to be hidden from the various types of the user groups. It is required. Everybody need not know what is there and where is there. Everything need not be known to each and everyone. Right? So, this architecture consists of, you observe here, 3 levels of architecture is there. Levels of architecture means 3 levels are there. First, physical schema, that is the lowest level. Conceptual schema, the middle level. Third one is known as higher level is known as view level. You may call it as a physical level or you may call it as a internal. You may call conceptual level or we may call it as a logical level. The last one, we may call it as a view level or we may term it as a external also. Internal, logical, external or physical, conceptual, view level. 3 levels are there actually. This the lowest level is directly interacting with our secondary storage devices. Persistent data directly. So that's why it should have various types of internal means it describes how the users specifically store the data. Physical schema describes the files and indexes used while storing the data internally in the secondary storage device. How data is stored, what are the links are used, what are the chains are used, what are the indices are considered. Everything is going to be represented by this physical schema. Because all these techniques are required to access data more efficiently. The middle level conceptual means logical. It defines logical structure of the database. That means it gives a logical structure based upon which the data is going to be stored in your database actually. The third level is external level or view level. It will consist of various views described by various users actually. Now you observe in any database, physical level, only one physical schema will be there. Logical level, only one logical schema will be there. But coming to the external, many users will use this database for their applications. So that's why multiple views will be there. So views are multiple, conceptual and physical schemas are single for any database system actually. Actually, what is schema? Schema is logical representation of data is known as schema. Model is underlying structure. Schema means logical representation of the data is known as schema. That is, at physical level describes how the, for example, I'll give with reference to our programming language understanding. All of us know that type declaration, we are declaring an instructor as a record having these attributes. But how the record is going to be stored internally, completely, a block, that will be represented as a physical level. At logical level, the structure of this record is going to be represented. How the data is stored, what are the attributes are there, what are the types of each attribute, that will be represented at the logical level. At physical level, this entire block, how this entire block is going to be used. That is, at physical level, the entire block, how this entire block is going to be stored, that will be represented at the physical level actually. Now, logical level, it describes how the data is stored in the form of various attributes actually. So physical level, a block is represented. Logical level, data is represented. Coming to the view level, third level, the application programs, they don't know how the data was stored internally, etc. Just they will be provided only the attribute names, how to access, that's all. Right? So by using those names, they'll access data, but internally how the data was stored, whether it is stored as a record or whether it was stored as an attribute or etc., they don't know. They will be provided some data. This information is given according to their requirement by the database administrator, and they will use those names and they'll access data, and they will, whatever may be the application requirement, they will fulfill their requirements actually. That's all. So views can hide information such as employee's salary. For example, security purpose, I may view only my data from my account details only from my bank account. I cannot view others' details. It was hidden actually. That is the abstraction. At view level, only provided security or whatever the credentials are provided to you, only that part of the data is going to be viewed by us. You take any website, for example, railway reservations. We can view only the details of the trains and the available seats, etc. I cannot view who reserved a particular reservation is not there. For example, a particular seat was got filled. I cannot view the details of people who booked for that particular ticket, etc. Right? So that means view level, it hides. The abstraction means it hides. At the physical level, data cannot be known. Physical level representation need not be known. The users where logical level users are using. Similarly, at view level, people need not know how the data was stored at the logical level. So one more example is there, customer loan. As in a user external level or a view level, I know the details of customer. 101 is my ID. Let us assume that. I know the details of my ID, loan number, amount, etc. But at conceptual level, this table was created by using create table command in some SQL format, this one. The creation of the table, I don't know how to create, etc. Because external views, it was hidden from. What are the attributes are there? Maybe I am using only 3 attributes of the table. But the table was created with 20, 30 attributes also. Although all those things not known to me. That means at external level, wherever this external level is there, this external level people need not know what is going on in the conceptual level. Similarly, at the conceptual level people, those who are creating the tables and those who are creating indices, etc., they need not know how internally this data is storing actually. So how this internally represented, that is what are the bytes, offset, how much word length, etc. All these things are not known to us actually. Most of the people you are using, when you are doing this, you also at the conceptual level only you will do. At the physical level also you may not go in the initial stages. That means certain details most of the details are hidden here. These from various levels of the users, various details are going to be, the next level details are hidden from. That is higher level, lowest level details are hidden. External level, conceptual level details are hidden. At conceptual level people, internal level details are hidden by such. Because of such things, security will be get improved actually. And how this happens, what is the purpose of such type of hiding the information and these 3 levels of abstraction? This leads to data independence concept, and who are the various types of users of databases, categorization of the database users, and also what are the various database languages categorization. That we will discuss in detail in the next session actually. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.